you being yourself and not giving a shit about what anyone else wanted, and not caring. You would like sit in my room, like you and An would come over, and you'd be like, I'm hungry, and I'm like, I give you like some mac and cheese, and I feel like I'm like serving you, and like I didn't have any chairs, and so you just sit on my floor, just like eating my food, and there was also the time, I think it was the night before the tech show or something, we just came over there, and it was actually, we went to either your room or your room. We were just bullshitting. And it was just like, we just like sat there watching you drink like a gallon of milk.
There's a picture of that. There's a picture of that and the mac and cheese.
Yeah, you were just like, I can't throw the milk away, it's so good. And you're just drinking it. You're like, I can't drink all the milk. But you kept drinking it, I don't know why.
I couldn't do that anymore.
The thing I remember most is usually how not bipolar is a bad word, but you're very extreme on both ends. You know, you're very supportive of whatever it is that we do. You know, I remember you're always very upfront with, you're like, no, Anho, that's wrong because you're a better person that you don't fucking need this shit, right? But then on the flip side, you'd be like, no, fucking wrong, fucking stole my retainer, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get Long.
They don't know the retainer story.
I don't know what it was. So there was this dude, he's just like some fat guy, whatever, like, he's more like obese now. But anyways, like, we just kind of collectively, like, hated him. Not really because he did anything to us, like, you know, he wasn't, like, malicious, like, oh, I'm gonna slash David Hillis' tires, or, you know, like stole your girlfriend or something like that, or boyfriend, whatever, I mean, no, not anything wrong with it. Not anything, you just, whatever.
Not malicious.
But he was just like, he was so bad that you just didn't, you like, his essence like made you like hate him. You're like, wow, like you know, Hitler never did anything to you, but like he's just a bad person, and you just didn't like him. So one day, Eric, for whatever reason, couldn't find his retainer. I don't know why. So he comes, he calls me. He's like, we need to talk. And I was like, I thought it was something serious. I thought it was important.
It was.
It's like I left the library or my girlfriend's place at the time, like for whatever it is.
Everything.
I was like, all right, you know, what are we doing here?
I'm here for you.
And so he was like, I think Long, the guy, I think he stole my retainer. And I'm like, what? Like, your retainer? He's like, yeah. He hates me. And I know he hates me because I hate him. And I know he came over that night because we were doing this, and he named off these people like he was like on a hit list or something like that. James was there, Jared, and he went to the bathroom and he come out for 20 minutes, and now my retainer's gone. And I was like, okay, you know, I gave into it because I hated the guy too. And then, so I was like, so what do you want to do about it? I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna do something. We're gonna try to get the confession out of him. So we set up some sort of like sting operation where it was like just like a casual dinner conversation or like a ride home, and we would say stuff like, we would say stuff like, man, I really hate Eric. You know, like Eric's a terrible person. To get Long to say like, yeah, I hate him too. So like I stole his retainer and flushed it down the toilet. It was so ingenious. And then like he never confessed to it, but Eric was still very adamant that this dude stole his retainer. He's like, that's really expensive, that's a lot of money. And so I was like, so what do you want to do next? I'm gonna go slash his tires. You know where he lives? I was like, yeah, I know where he lives. Like I just know him. Like,
his sister was my roommate's girlfriend, and one day when she was gone, I went into her purse and took out her driver's license and then copied down their home address. My hands were shaking. I was like, what if they catch me? I wrote it down.
You were crazy.
What the hell?
And then at the very end, right before you moved out of your dorm, you found your retainer behind the toilet in your bathroom.
No, it was under my bed.
It was under your bed, whatever.
It just like fell off. Which I think is even better because that totally clears the guy from guilt.
Yeah, absolutely, but he still wanted to slash his tires.
I had it like marked on my calendar like 6 months later after graduation at like 4 a.m.
There was like elaborate plans, like a timeline. was ridiculous.
I got the address.
It was like something out of like Memento or like, you know, A Beautiful Mind, just like a wall strewn with randomness. There you go, buddy.
Okay, on your turn. I don't have a specific incident. Maybe I'll just.
I don't think this includes a tip though, right?
No, I don't think so. Oh, that was
That's from the original receipt.
was it all right?
Yeah, this included?
No.
Okay. It doesn't look like it because $70 is pretty good for, yeah.
Yeah, for like buying Eric's.
No, and then like all the drinks and stuff.
Jesus. You will remember this. You won't let you forget. Okay, I think I got another one.
You gotta wait for him.
Okay. I can't top the retainer story right now. I feel like there's something in there, but I can't pull it
Take a
out.
couple bucks off. You know, you can't really because you know how crunk is here. It's fucking meat.
Yeah.
Falling like in your
Give them whatever you feel is appropriate.
Yeah, it's some quality shit.
Go on, go. Think of when Eric left you in his phone for 5 hours.
Oh yeah, he does that. He does that a lot.
Don't act like you didn't pass out and leave his phone to talk to Ellen.
Anyways, I think, how about this? One time we're driving back from DC or something, and Eric was driving. I think we stopped at a gas station. After that, it started to become night. And then I asked lights. I told him several times before he was like, he came this close to like hitting another car. I was like, Eric, why don't you have your lights on? He's like, they are on. Can you see them? He drove on the highway for like 20 minutes without his lights on. Like obviously in the pitch black dark. And I was like, Eric, you have terrible glasses right now. You can't see anything. The lights aren't on. He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And he swerved a couple times, and then about right before we got home, like I think it started raining too or something. Yeah, I think so too. So I was very, very fearful, but at the same time I was like, okay, we're surprised this is Mark. We're driving down the path, and then all of a sudden he goes like, oh wait. If you try to turn the windshield wiper or something on, you actually put the lights on, and like, oh, they do work. I see that the lights do work, and that they're on, and then you like laugh, and we survive. And I was like, Eric, I'll never drive with you again. Anyway, that's typical. That's Eric, I guess. Eric. All of these stories have the same theme.
I know. I'm like, I see patterns.
Okay. This is probably I feel like this is maybe my quintessential Eric story, and it's a pretty recent one too. So for my birthday last year, I convinced these two, Eric and An, to come up to Philly, and then we would go down to the Jersey Shore and spend a day on the beach, you know, just like have a nice time.
Greater expectations.
Yeah. You know, sun, beach, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be great. You know, we'll get fruit. We'll have some water and some drinks. Yeah. And you know, it'll be like a really nice summer thing. And so we finally settle on a date, and all we come like checking the weather, because it's kind of like 50-50 on the rain. And so we finally go, and it's a gorgeous day, you know, not a cloud in the sky. And so we go to the beach, and it's hilarious to watch Eric and An, because it's sort of like two complete opposite approaches to the beach. So An has like a towel draped over his head and like a t-shirt on, and he's just like, I'm not going to be exposed to the sun. And Eric is like, you know, I brought sunscreen, because I go down the shore a couple times a year. And so I brought sunscreen, and I'm like, hey Eric, you want any sunscreen? And he's like, no, I don't need that. That's for the lesser people. That's for the weak people. I don't need sunscreen. I'm like, Eric, are you sure? And he's like, no, absolutely not. No sunscreen for me. then at the end of the trip, you know, we're all like we're ready to pile up. So we pack up and we go. We finish with the food, and I noticed that Eric is just like red and already starting to like boil from the sunburn.
It was itchy like a rubber.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm kind of itchy. What's going on? And I'm like, well, I think you're sunburned, Eric. And he's like, what? How? And I'm like, probably because you were in the sun all day with no sunscreen.
And then all of a